Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Riyad Hussain and this is lecture number 37. Title of today's lecture is Construction of Equilibrium Diagram. Equilibrium diagram is a phase diagram. In this lecture we will discuss how the phase diagram for a system can be drawn. The first part of this lecture was discussed in previous week and today we will discuss the second part of this lecture. Key concepts. Following concepts will be covered in this lecture. What is phase diagram or what is equilibrium diagram? First of all, we will discuss phase diagram, how the phase diagram is drawn. Phase diagram is actually a graph between variants. Mostly the variants will be the pressure and temperature. After this we will discuss phase rule. What is phase rule? That was simply discussed in the previous lecture, and phase rule was established by Gibbs. Then we will discuss number of degrees of freedom. After this we will discuss one component system and the phase diagram drawn for the one component system. Then we will discuss various curves of univariant system. There are three types of the system on the base of degrees of freedom. So majorly we will focus on the one component system, and the one component system will contain various curves, and then we will discuss the detail of the curves of the univariant system. After this we will discuss vaporization curve, sublimation curve and melting point curve of the univariant system. Phase diagram, a diagram which describes the conditions of equilibrium between various forms or phases of a substance, is called a phase diagram or equilibrium diagram. Phase diagram is actually a graph which is plotted between variant of a system. Here the graph shown is the graph drawn between pressure and temperature. Temperature is taken on x-axis and pressure is taken on y-axis. The phase diagram consists of three lines. This is the one line, this is the second line, and this is the third line. The three lines are joining each other at this point. This point is the common of these three lines. This point is called triple point. Triple point is the point where three phases of a matter, or we can say three phases of a substance, coexist, or we can say three phases are in equilibrium at this point. The point at which three phases of a system or a matter exist at equilibrium is called triple point. This side shows the solid phase, this shows the liquid phase, this is the line which is dividing, which is separating the liquid from the solid phase. The matter on this line is in equilibrium. There is equilibrium between liquid and solid phase over this line. This area shows the liquid state of the matter and this area shows the gaseous state of the matter. The end of this line
the line which is separating the liquid phase from the gaseous phase, the end of this line is called critical point. The phase of the matter beyond this point will be called supercritical fluid. Supercritical fluid is a state of matter in which gaseous phase and liquid phase are indistinguishable. The one cannot differentiate the liquid and gaseous phase beyond this point. Triple point, the combination of the temperature and the pressure at which the three phases, which are gaseous phase, liquid phase and a solid phase of a substance coexist in thermodynamic equilibrium, is called a triple point. The point in the phase diagram where the three curves meet with each other is called a triple point. Every substance, every matter has its own triple point, has its fixed triple point. Critical point, a point on a phase diagram at which both the liquid and gaseous phase of a substance have the same density and both phases are indistinguishable, is called a critical point. The pressure condition and the temperature condition at this point are called critical temperature and critical pressure. If I draw a horizontal line, so not a horizontal, vertical line from this point, which that vertical meet the x-axis, I mean temperature axis over here. The temperature, the line drawn from the critical point which cuts the temperature axis, the temperature at that point is called critical temperature. And similarly, the horizontal line drawn from the critical point which meets the y-axis, I mean the pressure axis, the pressure at that point is called critical pressure. Critical temperature of a substance is the temperature at and above which vapor of the substance cannot be liquefied, no matter how the pressure is applied. Critical temperature is that temperature at and above which vapor of the substance cannot be liquefied. The temperature at which vapor phase cannot be liquefied, how much pressure is applied. Every substance has its own critical temperature, e.g. critical temperature of water is 374 degree centigrade. Critical pressure of a substance is the pressure required to liquefy a gas at its critical temperature. The critical pressure of water is 217.7 atmospheric pressure. This is all about the phase diagram. The curves which present in this phase diagram will be discussed in detail in the next slides. Phase rule. Phase rule was first established by J.W. Gibbs in 1874. It's a general relationship between the variance, the components and the phases present at equilibrium. This rule was established by J.W. Gibbs in 1874. That's why it's called Gibbs rule, or we can say it's called phase rule. This rule describes the relationship between variance, number of components and the number of phases present at equilibrium. So its formula is F is equal to C minus P plus 2, or some books shows the phase rule formula is like this: F plus P is equal to C plus 2. Both are the same thing. F shows the variance, C shows the number of components, and P shows the number of phases at equilibrium. Here 2 is for the intensive variable, which are temperature and pressure. F shows the variance. Number of degree of freedom or variance. The degree of freedom of a system is defined as the minimum number of independent variables such as temperature, pressure and concentration, which must be specified in order to define the system completely. Or number of degree of freedom can be defined as it is the minimum number of intensive variables that must be specified to know the values of all the remaining intensive variables. Examples: consider a one component, one phase system like liquid water. The system contains water species. So water is a only one chemical species which is present in the liquid state. So its phase is one, that is the liquid phase, and the component present in that liquid phase is also the one. So the value of C is also the one. It will have a number of intensive properties like density, refractive index, surface tension, viscosity. So density, refractive index, surface tension, viscosity are the intensive properties, but temperature and pressure are known. Then all other properties will have fixed values. Same follows the Gibbs phase rule equation. The Gibbs phase equation or Gibbs phase rule equation is equal to F is equal to C minus P plus 2. So we can find the degree of freedom F, the number of variant. We can call it the F is called number of variant, or we can say it's a degree of freedom. It shows the variables which are temperature, pressure and concentration. If the value of F calculated from the Gibbs phase rule equation is 1, then we can say its variable is 1. So the system is depending on one variable, that may be either temperature or the pressure. If the value of F is 2, it means the system is depending on the two variables which are temperature and as well as pressure. See, here the system is liquid water. So the phase is 1, the value of C, because the chemical species which present in the liquid state is also the 1. So the C 1 minus 1 plus 2 is equal to 2. So the liquid water system is under observation. So its value of P is 1 and its value of C is 1. Then the degree of freedom calculated from the Gibbs phase rule have value 2. So we can say there are two variables which affects liquid phase water system.
Types of systems on base of F. F, number of degrees of freedom of a system. There are three types of a system on a base of number of degrees of freedom. The three types are: the first one is the non-variant or invariant system. The second type of the system on the base of degrees of freedom is the univariant or monovariant system. And the third type of a system on a base of degrees of freedom is a bivariant system. Non-variant or invariant. If the degrees of freedom for a system is 0, then the system is termed as non-variant or invariant system. Univariant or monovariant system. If the degree of freedom for a system is 1, then a system is said to be univariant or monovariant. If its degree of freedom is 1. How the degree of freedom of a system is calculated? The number of degrees of freedom of a system can be calculated by phase rule, is called Gibbs rule as well. The third type of a system on the base of degrees of freedom is a bivariant system. A system is said to be bivariant if its degree of freedom is 2. One component system, or we can say the monovariant system. Here we will discuss the detail of the monovariant system and the phase diagram or the equilibrium diagram drawn for the one component system. I mean the system whose degrees of freedom will be 1. A system which consists of different phases of the same chemical species at equilibrium is called a one component system. Some examples of one component systems are H2O system, CO2 system, sulfur system, etc. So the title of this slide is clearly showing that the system will contain one component. I mean one chemical species will be present in our system. If it's a water, then water exists in various phases. Water may exist in the solid phase, it may exist in liquid phase, and it may exist in the gaseous phase. But in all the phases, the chemical entity is the water. The chemical species present in the system is the water. Solid water, its formula is H2O. Liquid water molecule, formula is H2O, and the gas phase molecule, and its formula is H2O. So this is one component system which exists in 3 phases, which are the liquid phase water, solid phase water, and a gaseous phase water. Similarly, the carbon dioxide system, the system again contains one component, that is the CO2, the solid ice, which is called the dry ice, the liquid carbon dioxide, as well as the gaseous carbon dioxide. The CO2, the single chemical entity, is present in 3 phases. So we can say the system contains one component and the 3 phases. In this lecture, we will discuss the phase diagram established for a one component system. Phase diagram of a one component system. Here our focus will be on the water system. We are taking water system as a one component system, H2O being the only chemical constituent so which exists in different phases. That's why it's called one component system. The diagram shown here is the phase diagram which is established for a one component 3 phase system. So according to phase rule, the component, the value of C is equal to 1, the value of P phase is equal to 3. This is a phase diagram, or we can say this is a equilibrium diagram of a one component system. So the pressure is taken, which is the variant, is taken along y-axis, and the temperature is taken along x-axis. The phase diagram of a water consists of 3 curves. Now one curve starts from A and ends at O. This is called OA curve. The other curve starts from O and ends at C. This is OC curve. The third one curve is the OB curve. The OB curve is a sublimation curve. The OC curve is called a melting curve, and the OA curve is called a vaporization curve. The system at the curves is in equilibrium between 2 phases. So this area where the red cursor is moving, this area is called the
gaseous area, gas phase area. So the water in this area will be present in the gaseous phase, and this area which is present between OAC, this area where the cursor is present, is a liquid phase area. The water in this area will be in the liquid state, and this area is the solid state, solid phase of a one component system. That solid phase is water, so it means the iced area, the water present in the solid form over here. So the temperature and pressure conditions which fulfill the criteria in this area, then the water will present in solid form. Phase diagram of a one component system. Water system consists of three phases, as we have discussed in the phase diagram, which are solid phase, liquid phase and vapor phase. The number of these phases which can exist in equilibrium at any time depends on the conditions of temperature and pressure. The different phases will be equilibrium in the region where the curves are present. The curves are separating the two phases from each other, but the system at the curves will be present in equilibrium, and that shows the equilibrium between two phases. If it's a vaporization curve, I mean that is the OA curve, so the liquid phase and the gaseous phase will be equilibrium at the position at the curves. The number of these phases which can exist in equilibrium at any time depends on the conditions of temperature and pressure. The equilibrium diagram, which is also called the phase diagram, it consists of three curves which are OA, OB and OC. All these curves are meeting at the point O. That central point is called triple point. So all the three curves are emerging from this central point. These curves divide the diagram into three areas, which is one is the AOC, the other one is the AOB and the third one is the BOC. These three areas represent the different phases of one component system. Now we will discuss various curves of the univariant system, I mean the one component system. Why the system is called univariant? Because the number of degrees of freedom will be 1. If the number of degrees of freedom will be 2, then the system will be called bivariant. Curve OA. This is curve OA. This is called vaporization curve, or we can say it's a vapor pressure curve. This curve is separating the gaseous phase one component, gaseous phase water, with liquid phase water. It represents the equilibrium between liquid water and the vapor at different temperature. From the phase rule, F number of degrees of freedom, C component, it's a one component system, the water existing in two phases, one is the solid liquid phase and the other is the gaseous phase. So here we only discussing these two phases. Plus 2, that is the constant of the phase rule, so the number of degrees of freedom is the 1. The curve has 1 degree of freedom to describe the system at any time. So just we are focusing the system over here, which consists of the vaporization curve. The vaporization curve separating the two phases, that is the liquid and the gaseous phase. So here we are discussing the one component system which exists in two phases. So the system just only here consists of two phases,
forget this system, that the solid phase of the water. Just we are studying these two phases. So here the value of P will be 2. This is the curve area, the area over OA. Here the system will be present in equilibrium. There will be equilibrium between the liquid phase and the gaseous phase. If we move upward to this curve, then the water will exist in the liquid form. If we come down from this curve, then the water will present at the gaseous phase. So actually the phase diagram is a graph which is drawn between pressure and the temperature. From the phase rule, the number of degrees of freedom is 1. So we can say the curve has 1 degree of freedom to describe the system at any point. The vapor pressure curve, it is necessary to state that either temperature or a pressure. If we fix the temperature, the pressure will be fixed automatically. That's why the system is univariant. The upper end of the curve OA is marked by the critical point, the upper end of the curve OA, where the liquid and the vapor phase merge together and result into a homogeneous phase. The critical temperature of water is 374 degrees centigrade and at 218.5 atmospheric pressure. The pressure at the critical point will be 218.5 atmosphere and the temperature at critical point will be 374. So we can say the critical temperature for water is 374 and the critical pressure for water is 218.5 atmosphere. Beyond this point, the density of the both phases, which are the liquid and the gaseous phase, will be the same, and that area consists of homogeneous phase. The gaseous phase become indistinguishable from the liquid phase beyond the critical point, or we can say beyond critical temperature and pressure. Curve OB, the sublimation curve. Curve OB starts from point O and ends at point B. This curve represents the equilibrium between ice and vapor. This is the solid phase area and this is the gaseous phase area of the water. The system is univariant along this curve. For each temperature, there is only one pressure at which water vapor is in equilibrium with solid ice. Similarly, for each pressure, there is only one temperature at which both the phases coexist. The lower end of the curve extends to absolute zero, which is minus 20, 70 to 73 degrees centigrade temperature. This curve ends at B. If the line is drawn from the point B, then it meets x-axis at a temperature where its value is minus 273 degrees centigrade. Curve OC, it's a fusion curve, or we can say it's a melting point curve. This curve represents the equilibrium between ice and water. See, this is liquid phase area and this is the solid phase area. So the both area are separated with a line that is called melting point curve, or this is called fusion curve. It is called the fusion curve of ice or the melting point curve. The degree of freedom for this curve can be calculated by the phase rule. F is equal to C minus P plus 2. It's a one component system and the system contains two phases. So the degree of freedom is again 1. The curve has a 1 degree of freedom. Curve OC, which is called the fusion curve. This curve shows the effect of pressure and melting point of ice. The curve is slightly inclined towards the pressure axis. If we see the curve, then it is inclined towards the pressure axis. That indicates that the melting point of ice decreases with increase in pressure. It's a very important point. As the pressure increases,
then melting point of ice decreases. This is because the density of the system increases as the volume of ice decreases on melting, which is exceptional from other substances. That's why the curve shows a negative slope. See, this is a very important point. As the pressure increases, when the pressure will increase, the volume will decrease and the density will increase. You know density is mass per unit volume. Then the density, the pressure will increase, the volume will decrease and density will increase. So upon it, which indicates that when pressure increases, then melting point decreases. This is because the density increases as the volume of ice decreases on melting, which is exceptional from other substances. This is exceptional behavior for water from other systems. That's why the curve shows a negative slope. According to Clausius-Clapeyron equation, when the ice melts into water, then the relation shows that dP over dt is equal to molar enthalpy of fusion, change in molar enthalpy of fusion over product of temperature and change in molar volume of the fuel, where delta FUSH shows the change in enthalpy of fusion, T shows the temperature, delta V change of volume for fuel. Here delta H change in enthalpy of fuel increases with increase in temperature, but volume decreases. Volume Vf minus Vi less than 0, so the slope dP over dt becomes negative. That's why the fusion curve or the melting point curve is inclined towards the pressure axis. Curve OA prime, it's a matter which shows the metastable equilibrium. This is OA prime. It's a metastable curve. The curve represents the liquid water and water vapor at metastable equilibrium. It is sometimes possible to cool water below its freezing point without turning into solid ice. It is called the super cooled water. It's a very unstable condition. In presence of ice or any other solid, or by stirring, it instantly converts into solid ice. So this is OA prime, is a metastable equilibrium curve, and the water at this area shows present in the metastable state. The point O, the three curves OA, OB and OC meet at a point O, which is called a critical point. So this is called the triple point. This point is known as a triple point. At this point, the three phases, solid, liquid and vapor of the water system, remain in equilibrium with each other. From the phase rule, F is equal to 1 minus 3 plus 2. At this stage, the water exists in three phases. So it's a three-phase system, three-phase and one component system. So here the degree of freedom is 0. Triple point, the point O. The calculation for the degree of freedom shows that the value is 0. So degree of freedom at this point is the 0. We can say the system has no degree of freedom. The system is invariant. The point has a definite temperature and pressure, which is 0.0098 degrees centigrade at 4.5 millimeter of pressure. Neither the temperature nor the pressure can be varied. Any change in temperature or pressure will destroy the equilibrium among the three phases. Assignment. Here is the assignment for you. Draw the phase diagram of one component system and explain its various curves in detail. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.